Okay, here's how we assemble the Inter-Fab BYOS2 slide. Due to the very custom nature of the slide, we're just going to give you an overview of the assembly process. Now, your slide's going to come with at least 3 sections. You're going to have an entry section, an exit section, and the pieces that are going to go in between. You're also going to get with your slide a printout. Now let me zoom in. And it's going to be a diagram of your slide. It's going to show all the different pieces. And at the bottom, there's going to be a checklist, parts list that has all the parts on there. So what you're going to want to do is take the slide and then lay it out in its approximate location on the site and check it against your parts list and make sure you've got everything that you're supposed to have. Also, at a minimum, you're going to receive this hardware. You're going to get a entry section support system, which are those 3 pieces there. You'll end up with at least 2 supports, vertical supports, and you'll also get the handrails for the entry section. You'll note if you've done a BYOS1 install that the BYOS2, all the supports are at 20 degrees now. Okay, now that we've got the slide laid out in its approximate position, we have attempted to make the assembly of it a little bit easier. What you'll notice is that each adjoining part at the flange has a alphabetical number. In this case, the exit to the upslope piece has a B. Let me zoom in and show you. So you would put piece B together with piece B, and then A to A, and then as your slide is lettered. Now also on the side of the flange that it's going to get the anchor, you'll see that it says 20-degree anchor here, and that's repeated along the slide so the anchors go in the correct positions. Okay, let's talk about the assembly process. First thing you want to do is make sure that you level your hill to the approximate final grade as it applies to your project. Now, assembly always starts with the exit section. If the exit section is off, vertically or horizontally, it's going to be way off at the top. The longer the slide, the worse it's going to be. So that entry section has to be set in its correct vertical and horizontal position. Now on the exit section there's a landing plate. Great. Now that landing plate should rest on the substrate, or if you like you can always drill through the side of the landing plate and build your own bracket. Now starting with the exit section, you want to assemble the slide upside down on the ground in its approximate final position. Now be careful not to scratch the slide. You can use the cardboard boxes, flatten them out in order to protect the slide while you're working on it. As we explained earlier, there's an A to an A or a B to a B, just like that. So when you've got that correct, then what you want to do is put the flanges together like we've done, and you can use vice grips, just like that, to hold the flanges together. And once you've got the bolt holes aligned. Now the exit section always has a support. So what we're going to do is, let me zero in, there's a center hole in the flange right there. Now that the anchor is going to bolt there. So to the bolt holes just on either side like that is where you want to start. So you want to take a bolt and then put a flat washer on it. Oh, well, of course you're always going to use anti-seize. All the bolts on this slide are stainless steel, so you have to use anti-seize on each one or they're going to seize. So you take the bolt, you put a flat washer on it, you slip it through the flange, right? Then another flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut. And go ahead and put them on and hand tighten them down. What you want to do too is probably use your ratchet and tighten them up just a little bit, because what we want to do is get some compression on that gasket. It makes it a little easier to add the support. Okay, now the support is directional. Yeah. So what we want to do is, as you can see, the angle is facing toward the landing plate. And you just slip the bolt, again a bolt, the flat washer through the flange, through the bracket for the support, flat washer, lock washer, and a nut. And go ahead and hand start them on. And then we're going to repeat the process for the side bolt holes. Now keep in mind there are 7 total bolts on each flange. And you just go ahead and repeat that process for all the bolts. And again, we want to just hand tighten the bolts at this time. Okay, here's how we assemble the entry section. Now, each entry section comes with 2 handrails, just like that. The handrails themselves are directional. On one side, you're going to find that there are 2 bends. 1, 2, just like that. The side with the 2 bends is going to go away from the pool. All right. Now, what you want to do is flip it over, and we suggest that you put these handrails on first before you put the entry section support system on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a bolt, let me zero in a little bit, just like that, and we're going to put on a lock wash, anti-seize of course, on all the bolts. We're going to take a lock washer, and then a flat washer, and then we're just going to slip it through the bottom of the entry section and start it into the handrail itself. Now there are 2 holes, or 2 bolts, just like that, 1 on each side. It helps to have an extension for your socket set. Now go ahead and tighten these bolts up completely at this time. Again, we're suggesting approximately 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, here's how we assemble the support system for the entry section. The support system is actually comprised of 3 pieces. We're going to start with this long rectangular piece first. Now it is directional. There are 2 holes. Let me zero in a little bit. 1 there, right, and then 1 at the bottom, right there. What you want to do is just pick it up and align the holes in the side with the holes in the entry section, just like that. Great. Now the pieces with the holes are going to go toward the pool. There you go. Just like that. Okay, the long rectangular piece of the entry support system bolts on with 4 bolts. Now make sure that you use anti-seize on all 4 of the bolts. What we want to do is take a bolt, let me zero in a little bit, okay, and then we're going to put a flat washer on it, and we're going to shove it through the entry section and then through the support, and then we're going to put on another flat washer and then a lock washer and then the nut, and we repeat that process for the other 3 bolts, and then we just go ahead and tighten them up to spec. Okay, here's how we install the entry support frame bars. There are 2 of them. Yes, just like that. And each one has a hole on each end. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, on that end there. And there's 1 on the other end. And there's a matching hole, yeah, right there on the support. And then 1 on the entry frame. Let me zoom in right down there. Okay, what you want to do is just take a bolt. Let me zoom in. There you go. And then you put a flat washer on it. Slip it through both pieces of angle iron. And then, there you go. And then you're going to put a flat washer, a lock washer, and then a nut. And just go ahead and hand tighten them on at this time. And yeah, you repeat the process for the other side right there. Okay. And hand tighten at this time. We're going to have to do a little adjusting, and we'll tighten them all up a little bit later on. Here's the basic assembly process. Start at the exit section and work uphill. If necessary, do it in sections, then block it up. Once fully assembled, blocked up in its final position, then starting at the exit section, you'll need to tighten and adjust the slide. The flange bolts should be tightened first and done in a specific way like this. Okay, here's how we tighten the flange bolts. The center bolt, we're going to do it in an alternating fashion, by the way. The center bolt, let me zoom in just a little bit. Right there, we call number 1. So what you want to do is take your torque wrench and adjust it to 12 foot-pounds. Then starting with the center bolt, number 1, go ahead and tighten it to 12 foot-pounds, and then go over to bolt number 2, tighten it, and then bolt number 3, which would be the opposite one, and then bolt number 4, bolt number 5, bolt number 6, and then bolt number 7 way up on the top on the other side. Then what you do is you adjust your torque wrench to 25 foot-pounds, and you go ahead and repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, etc. For a successful installation, the slide must be at 20 degrees and level from side to side. Now, if the supports are plumb, that is level in both axes, the slide will be at the correct slope and level. So here's how you can check it. You can use a slope finder right here on the support, check it in that axis and then in that axis, or you can use a bubble level and check it same way, just like that, right. And then you can put a level on the crossbar on the support and check it that way. Now, once you've got the supports, by the way, the flanges should be completely tightened and those bolts tightened before you check the plumb on the supports. But once you've got those plumb, then what you do is you check the, let me back out a little bit. Here we go. You go ahead and you check the side-to-side level on the slide, just like that. But the only place you can check it is at the flange locations, right there where the gaskets are. That's the only place to check from side to side. That should be level. Then what you want to do is take your slope finder and then go into the slide at on the center line and check it, and it should be at 20 degrees. Don't check the exit section at the very end because it's a slightly different slope. Just up by the first gasket is a great place to check it right there, and then work your way up the slide. Okay, here we've got the slide support positioned within a 18-inch wide sonotube, and we'd like to point out that on each of the supports, let me zoom in a little bit, there's a green sticker, and it shows that that's the minimum concrete fill depth right there. So you want to make sure that that support is embedded in concrete to at least that minimum depth. Okay, here's how we do the water supply system. Now the BYOS2 has a nice feature. It has a dual water supply system. So underneath the slide there are two 1-inch fittings, PVC fittings right there. And so what we suggest you do, however you want to plumb it is up to your particular project, but we do suggest that you have well, it helps to have a T, but to have a ball valve that adjusts the flow of water, one for the left side and one for the right side. That way, once the water's on, you can correctly balance the flow of water between the two outlets. And that's how we do the BYOS2 slide.